Look, the motorcycle industry is brutal right now. Between crazy high prices, weird design choices, and manufacturers completely missing what riders actually want, some bikes are just sitting on dealer lots collecting dust. We're talking about machines that looked great on paper but failed hard in the real world. Whether it's because they're overpriced, underpowered, or just plain confusing, these bikes are struggling to find homes. Today we're breaking down the 13 motorcycles that dealers can't move off their lots. And honestly, some of these choices will surprise you. Now let's dive straight into our countdown. Starting with number 13 on our list of sales disasters, we have Zero FXE electric bike. The Zero FXE seemed like a solid idea, an electric supermoto that could handle both street and light dirt duty. But man, this thing is struggling harder than a two-stroke in an emissions test. Priced at around $29,000, you're paying premium money for a bike that gives you maybe 60 miles of real-world range and takes forever to charge. The specs look decent on paper. A 75 horsepower motor pushing out 106 foot-pounds of torque, hitting 60 miles per hour in 3.0 seconds. The bike weighs 350 pounds and comes with a 7.2 kilowatt-hour battery pack. Zero claims 113 miles of city range, but real-world highway riding cuts that down to about 60 miles before you're hunting for charging stations. Zero's trying to position this as the future of motorcycling, but riders aren't buying it. Literally, the company's been struggling financially. Dealers are offering huge discounts just to move these things, and even then, they're collecting dust. The bike itself rides well. That instant torque is addictive, but the practical limitations make it more of an expensive toy than real transportation. Moving on from electric disappointments, let's talk about number 12, the Pan America 1250 Special. A bike that should have been a home run, but somehow struck out completely. Harley finally built an adventure bike, and somehow they managed to make it one of the most polarizing motorcycles on the market. The Pan America 1250 Special costs around $20,000, which puts it right in BMW GS territory, except it doesn't have BMW's reputation for reliability or dealer network. This thing packs a 150 horsepower Revolution Max 1250 engine, making 94 foot-pounds of torque. It's got 21-inch front and 18-inch rear wheels, 8.7 inches of ground clearance, and weighs in at 534 pounds wet. The suspension is fully adjustable Showa stuff with over 7 inches of travel front and rear, and it comes loaded with electronic rider aids including 5 riding modes, cornering ABS, and traction control. The bike actually performs pretty well. It handles dirt roads confidently, has decent wind protection, and the Revolution Max engine is smooth and powerful. The electronics work as advertised, and the build quality seems solid. On paper, it should be competing directly with the BMW R1250 GS and KTM Super Adventure. Plus, early reliability reports haven't been great, with several recalls and software issues plaguing owners. When you're competing against BMW and KTM in the reliability department, you better bring your A game, and Harley stumbled out of the gate with multiple recalls in the first year. Speaking of identity crises, our next bike, number 11, the Honda Goldwing, proves that sometimes trying to be everything to everyone means you're nothing to anyone. This has been around forever, and maybe that's the problem. The current Tour model starts at around $28,000, making it more expensive than many cars. For a bike that's basically a living room on wheels, it's priced like a luxury car but performs like a tour bus. We're talking about an 1800cc flat-six engine, making 125 horsepower and 170 foot-pounds of torque. The bike weighs over 800 pounds fully fueled and comes with every electronic gadget Honda could think of. Heated seats and grips, GPS navigation, Apple CarPlay, automatic transmission, reverse gear, hill start assist. It's got everything except buyers. The Goldwing is undeniably comfortable. The seats are plush, the ride is smooth, and the weather protection is excellent. You can eat up interstate miles without fatigue, and the storage capacity rivals a small car. The flat-six engine is silky smooth and nearly vibration-free, and the 7-speed dual-clutch transmission works flawlessly. But the fundamental question is, who wants this? The bike weighs more than some cars, handles like a yacht in parking lots, and requires serious physical strength to manage at low speeds. The automatic transmission removes the engagement that many riders crave, making it feel more like an appliance than a motorcycle. The resale values reflect this reality. Goldwings depreciate faster than most bikes because the market for them keeps shrinking. Even Honda dealers struggle to move them, often keeping the same units on the floor for months from tours that tour too much. Let's move to number 10, the Kawasaki Ninja H2. A sport bike that forgot how to be sporty. It should be the ultimate statement bike, a supercharged monster making over 200 horsepower. But at $32,000, it's pricing itself out of the very market it's designed for. Young sport bike riders can't afford it, and older riders with money aren't interested in track-focused missiles. This beast packs a 998cc supercharged inline-4, making 210 horsepower and 98 foot-pounds of torque. It'll hit 60 miles per hour in under 3 seconds and has a top speed over 200 miles per hour. The bike weighs 476 pounds and comes with traction control, launch control, multiple power modes, and a sophisticated electronics package that would make a fighter jet jealous. The ergonomics are punishing for anything beyond short rides. The riding position is aggressive, the seat is firm, and the wind blast at highway speeds is brutal. There's no storage space, the fuel economy is terrible, and the maintenance costs are astronomical. This isn't a bike you tour on or commute with. It's a specialized tool for going very fast in straight lines. Kawasaki's also facing competition from European bikes that offer similar performance with better build quality and more prestige. When you're spending this kind of money, brand perception matters, and Kawasaki doesn't carry the same weight as Ducati or BMW. The Ducati Panigale V4 costs similar money but comes with Italian exotic status that the Kawasaki lacks. The H2 also suffers from being too much bike for public roads. With 200 horsepower on tap, you'll be doing illegal speeds before you even realize it. Most owners report that they can barely use half the bike's potential on the street, making it feel like overkill for everything except the track. From over-engineered Japanese rockets, let's talk about number 09, Challenger Dark Horse. An American classic that's lost its way completely. India tried to take on Harley's bagger dominance with the Challenger Dark Horse, but they forgot one crucial thing. People buy baggers for the image, not the performance. At $27,000, this bike is more expensive than most Harley touring bikes without the heritage and culture that comes with the bar and shield. The Dark Horse packs a 108 cubic inch Power Plus engine, making 122 horsepower and 128 foot-pounds of torque. It's got a premium sound system, comfortable seating, and modern electronics. The bike weighs around 830 pounds and comes with cruise control, heated grips, remote locking hard bags, and a decent infotainment system with touchscreen controls. Objectively, the Challenger is probably better than most Harley baggers. The engine makes more power, the electronics are more sophisticated, and the build quality is excellent. The Power Plus motor is smooth and torquey, the chassis handles well for such a heavy bike, and the comfort level is high. Indian clearly put serious engineering effort into making this a capable touring machine. But the Indian's biggest problem is the dealer network. You can find a Harley dealer in almost every town in America, but Indian dealers are few and far between. When something breaks 500 miles from home, you're looking at long waits for parts and service. That's a huge problem for touring bikes that are supposed to be reliable mile eaters. Indian's also struggling with parts availability and service costs. While the bikes are well built, when things do break, repairs can be expensive and time-consuming. The dealer network isn't equipped to handle high volumes of service, leading to long wait times and frustrated customers. Now let's shift gears from American Iron to number 8, Ducati's Multistrada V4S. European elegance that nobody's buying. It should be the ultimate adventure touring bike, but at $28,000, it's priced like jewelry instead of transportation. This bike is loaded with technology and performance, but it's also loaded with potential problems that scare away practical buyers. The technology is genuinely impressive. The radar-guided adaptive cruise control and blind spot monitoring systems work brilliantly. The semi-active suspension adjusts in real time to conditions, and the V4 engine delivers smooth, linear power. The bike feels sophisticated and refined in ways that put many competitors to shame. But here's the problem. This is peak Ducati complexity in a package designed for adventure riding. Adventure riders need bikes that work consistently in remote areas, not temperamental Italian thoroughbreds that need constant attention. The electronic systems are amazing when they work, but what happens when you're in the middle of nowhere and something glitches? When you can get a BMW R1250 GS Adventure for similar money with better reliability, established dealer support, and proven off-road capability, the Multistrada becomes a tough sell except to die-hard Ducati fans who prioritize style over substance. Speaking of reliability issues, our next bike, number 07, BMW's S1000R, proves that even legendary manufacturers can stumble badly. This ranked bike should be printing money, but instead it's gathering dust on dealer floors. At $17,000, it's competing against bikes like the KTM Super Duke and Ducati Monster, but it brings typical BMW complexity without the touring capability that justifies BMW prices. This bike uses a 999cc inline-4 engine, making 165 horsepower and 83 foot-pounds of torque. It weighs 455 pounds and comes with multiple riding modes, traction control, wheelie control, and ABS. The suspension is fully adjustable, and the bike has aggressive ergonomics typical of naked sport bikes. But BMW naked bikes have an identity problem. They're too expensive to compete with Japanese alternatives like the Yamaha MT-10 or Kawasaki Z1000, and they don't offer the touring capability that BMW riders expect. The maintenance costs are also brutal. Routine service at a BMW dealer can cost more than some people's car payments. A basic service on the S1000R can run $500 or more. Valve adjustments are expensive, and replacement parts carry typical BMW premium pricing. When you factor in the complexity of the electronics and the need for specialized diagnostic equipment, ownership costs spiral quickly. The worst part is that BMW seems confused about who this bike is for. It's not sporty enough for track riders, not comfortable enough for touring, and not affordable enough for street fighter enthusiasts. It falls into a no man's land where it doesn't excel at anything specific. From German engineering problems, let's move to number 06. The Street Glide Special, an American bike that forgot what made it special in the first place. It represents everything wrong with modern Harley-Davidson. At $32,000, it's more expensive than many cars, but it's still using the same basic engine technology from the 1940s. Harley's banking on nostalgia, but even their most loyal customers are starting to question the value proposition. This bike packs the Milwaukee 8 114 cubic inch engine, making 92 horsepower and 119 foot-pounds of torque. It weighs over 800 pounds, comes with a boombox infotainment system with touchscreen controls, and has all the chrome and touring amenities Harley riders expect. The Special adds premium paint, upgraded sound system, and additional chrome trim over the base Street Glide. Harley's also facing a demographic crisis with these high-end touring bikes. Their traditional customers are aging out of motorcycling, and younger riders aren't replacing them. The lifestyle that Harley represents, weekend warriors, leather vests, bar hopping, doesn't resonate with millennials and Gen Z buyers who have different values and spending priorities. Even worse, the reliability hasn't improved proportionally with the prices. While modern Harleys are better than older ones, they still lag behind competitors in terms of consistent operation and maintenance requirements. When you're paying $32 grand, you expect the thing to work flawlessly, not require frequent trips to the dealer for routine adjustments. Now let's talk about a bike that tried to revolutionize cruisers, but ended up confusing everyone instead. At number 05, we have Yamaha's Star Venture, which was supposed to challenge Harley's touring dominance, but instead it created one of the biggest sales disappointments in recent memory. At $26,000, it offers impressive features and performance, but it lacks the soul that touring bike buyers crave. From a rational perspective, the Starventure is probably the best touring bike Yamaha has ever built. The engine delivers smooth, torquey performance with that satisfying V-twin rumble. The suspension soaks up road imperfections beautifully, the comfort level is exceptional, and the feature list rivals bikes costing significantly more. The infotainment system is intuitive, the storage capacity is generous, and the wind protection is excellent. But touring bikes aren't just about specifications, they're about image and emotion. Yamaha built a fantastic motorcycle, but forgot to give people a reason to want it over a Harley or Indian. The brand doesn't carry the same emotional weight in the touring segment, and that matters when people are spending this kind of money. The dealer network doesn't help either. While Yamaha has good coverage, their dealers aren't typically focused on the touring market. Harley dealers live and breathe touring bikes. They understand the customer, stock the right accessories, and create an environment that appeals to touring riders. Yamaha dealers sell everything from scooters to sport bikes, diluting their focus and expertise. From identity crises to complete market misfires. Our next bike, number 040SR proves that good intentions don't guarantee sales success. It's failing harder than a lead balloon. At $24,000, it's asking for sport bike money for half the performance and a fraction of the practicality. The bike looks futuristic, but the market isn't ready for electric sport bikes at these prices. The SR-S uses a 75 kilowatt motor making 110 horsepower and 140 foot-pounds of torque. It weighs 470 pounds and has a claimed range of 161 miles in city riding, dropping to about 80 miles at highway speeds. The bike can charge to 80% in 1 hour with a fast charger, or you can swap to a different power tank in about 10 seconds. The immediate torque delivery is genuinely addictive. There's no clutch, no gear changes, just twist and go with instant acceleration that feels supernatural. The bike is nearly silent, which creates an eerie but engaging riding experience. The handling is decent thanks to a low center of gravity from the battery placement, and the build quality seems solid. Even worse, the resale values are terrible because technology moves so fast in the electric space. Today's cutting-edge battery will be obsolete in 3 years, making these bikes depreciate faster than smartphone. When you factor in potential battery replacement costs, the total cost of ownership becomes frightening. Speaking of manufacturers making questionable decisions, let's discuss number 03, KTM Super Adventure S. A bike that should dominate its segment but somehow doesn't. It should be the ultimate adventure bike. It's got the performance, technology, and capability to embarrass bikes costing twice as much. But at $21,000, it's struggling to find buyers despite being objectively excellent in almost every way. This machine packs a 1290cc LC8 V-twin, making 160 horsepower and 103 foot-pounds of torque. It weighs 518 pounds ready to ride and comes with every electronic aid you can imagine: cornering ABS, traction control, multiple riding modes, and a sophisticated stability management system. The suspension offers over 9 inches of travel courtesy of semi-active WP units that adjust automatically to conditions, and the bike has genuine off-road capability that puts many adventure bikes to shame. The performance is genuinely shocking. This thing will outrun most sport bikes in a straight line, while carrying camping gear and looking ready to tackle the Dakar Rally. The V-twin engine delivers massive torque across the rev range. The chassis is surprisingly nimble for such a tall bike, and the electronics work seamlessly to manage the massive power output. The brand perception issue is real too. While enthusiasts know KTM makes excellent bikes, average consumers still associate the brand with dirt bikes and racing rather than reliable adventure touring. That perception gap costs sales in a segment where buyers prioritize dependability over peak performance. Now let's talk about our second place finisher. Number 02, the CVO Street Glide. A bike that represents everything wrong with modern motorcycle pricing. It is Harley's flagship touring bike, and at $47,000, it costs more than most luxury cars. This isn't just expensive, it's insulting to customers who remember when Harleys were accessible to working-class riders. The bike is beautiful and well-equipped, but the price tag is absolutely ridiculous. This limited edition machine uses the Milwaukee 8 117 cubic inch engine, making 105 horsepower and 125 foot-pounds of torque. It comes with premium paint schemes that change annually, genuine leather seats and saddlebags, a high-end Rockford Fosgate sound system, and every touring amenity Harley offers. The build quality is excellent, the attention to detail is impressive, and the fit and finish rivals custom builds. The CVO treatment includes hand-painted graphics, premium chrome finishes, upgraded suspension components, and exclusive color combinations. The engine receives internal modifications for slightly more power and torque, and the exhaust system is tuned for a distinctive sound signature. Everything about the bike screams premium, from the stitched leather to the custom paint. Even worse, the depreciation on CVO models is brutal because the premium features don't age well. Next year's CVO will have different paint and trim, making this year's model look dated. Unlike classic Harleys that gain value over time, modern CVOs lose money rapidly once they leave the showroom floor. Finally, let's reveal our #1 sales disaster, Harley's Livewire 1. A bike that somehow managed to disappoint everyone who looked at it. An electric motorcycle that costs $22,000 and delivers virtually nothing that Harley riders want. This bike represents everything wrong with corporate decision-making. It's a solution to a problem that doesn't exist, marketed to customers who don't want it. The Livewire 1 uses a permanent magnet motor making 105 horsepower and 86 foot-pounds of torque. It weighs 496 pounds and has a claimed city range of 146 miles, dropping to about 70 miles at highway speeds. The bike can charge to 80% in 60 minutes with a DC fast charger, or take all night on a standard household outlet. The technology is impressive from an engineering standpoint. The motor delivers instant torque with no lag. The regenerative braking system recovers energy when slowing down, and the touchscreen interface provides detailed information about range and charging status. The build quality meets Harley standards, and the attention to detail is good. But here's the fundamental problem. Harley riders buy Harleys for the sound, the tradition, and the image. The distinctive potato-potato exhaust note is part of the brand's DNA, and the Livewire is completely silent. It's like selling a Rolex that doesn't tick. You've removed the essential characteristic that defines the product. The Livewire is also soulless in a way that contradicts everything motorcycling represents. There's no clutch engagement, no gear changes, no mechanical connection between rider and machine. You twist the throttle and accelerate smoothly and silently, like riding an appliance. There's no drama, no ceremony, no sense of controlling a barely tamed mechanical beast. The Livewire 1 proves that even legendary manufacturers can completely misread their market and create products that nobody wants at any price. It represents corporate groupthink at its worst. Executives making decisions based on what they think customers should want rather than what customers actually want.